All right, it is 6 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. I want to welcome those in attendance and those tuning in online. All board members are accounted for with the exception of Bob, who is out on vacation. Jeff will also not be joining us today. If you could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I will look for approval of the agenda. You've had some time to look through it. If there's any additions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll look for that approval.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Brian-
second.
Brian on the motion. Jolene on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Scheduled presenters, Connie Foster and Casey Cable from Safe School Assessment Coordinators of Homeland Security. Presentation of the School Board Emergency Management Certificates for Jennifer Shapee and Steven Strauss. Floor is yours.
Thank you for having us. My name is Casey Cable, and this is my coworker Connie Forster. We're here tonight with the Minnesota School Safety Center, and we're presenting two of your staff with certificates of completion for our Minnesota School-Based Emergency Management Certificate Program. We offer this program across the state. 30 individuals have completed the certification, which includes over 30 hours of intensive learning online, and then 2 days of classroom instruction with our staff and a few other folks from across the state. And Jennifer and Steven have completed that certification. So Cannon Falls School District has 2 of 30 individuals certified in this certificate in all of Minnesota. Our department has spent the last 2 years working with Jennifer and Steven a variety of times. We've probably been to the school a lot in meetings half a dozen times. We've done tabletop exercises, we've walked through your buildings and done facility assessments. We've done emergency response or your crisis plan reviews, and it's been amazing. You should be really proud about the leadership that you have with Jennifer and Steven. They really come first in mind when we're talking with other schools in your region, when they need to reach out and talk with someone who's been through a scenario or a situation or is looking for some support, admin to admin, and we're really excited to just be here and acknowledge everything that they put into the safety and security of your district and award them with certificates from the state of Minnesota. There's Jennifer's. Do the handshake. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions on the board? Steven,
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions about either the program or the work we've done with the staff.
Yeah.
Is there something that's like a continuation of education that continues through this program?
Yeah, so we are we're constantly in communication with the School Safety Center. Stephen leads up our safe and secure kind of crisis plan. But it's really just that dialogue between. We are always open for more and more intense training, I guess. I know Mr. Hodges is also looking forward to kind of jumping on board as well. It was really hard to have all 3 of the administrators out in one, for this. So look forward for that. I think their guidance allows us to make sure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Like, we would never have done a tabletop exercise, been involved with, our own Goodhue County Emergency Management if it wasn't for their guidance. And honestly, having them come in and go through our buildings and, where the shortfalls are, and just that dialogue has been huge. So, I hope that partnership continues. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
We are a free, non-regulatory resource for all K-12 schools in Minnesota. So what we often see is we will start the work, doing the facility assessment. We kind of consider ourselves free consultants to schools for all hazard emergency preparedness and planning. And so oftentimes, like she said, somebody will pick up the phone, give us a call, ask a question, send us an email, and if we don't have the resources, we will help find them.
We provide some ongoing annual opportunities for learning and engagement. We host a couple of conferences across the state, as well as providing information about our federal partners that are coming into Minnesota to host educational opportunities. Jennifer and Stephen were with us last week at the Minnesota Governor's Homeland Security and Emergency Management Conference up in the metro and took part in a day of learning with us there.
They also attended, we hosted a conference last summer, a free conference. We're gonna do it again this year. I know Jennifer and Stephen were there as well.
Yeah, I know as somebody who has kids in the school, I appreciate you guys doing this and going through this effort, honestly. So, thank you.
Yeah, I thank you for taking that on. I think it's one of the first things I learned when I got on the board is how serious we take our security here in Cannon Falls, and to continue this is fantastic. You said we have 2 of 30. Is that 30 districts or is it 15? How many total districts are taking advantage of this program?
Of the school-based emergency management program?
Yeah,
So that's individuals.
Okay.
30 individuals throughout the state. It's a fairly new program, second year.
I would say maybe 20
okay,
Districts?
different districts. So this last session in person that Jennifer and Stephen were a part of, we really encouraged schools to come as a partnership if they could, either in twos or someone from your public emergency response to come as well. Other than that, it's been a lot of individuals. We try to host that class regionally so that folks can chat with people that are serving the schools around them. But I would say 20-ish, but yeah, there's 30 individuals that have completed our certification program. There are about 15 more that are in the mix of completing that. Otherwise, yeah, you've got
awesome.
here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And congratulations. All right, moving on. School board committee reports. Any committees that have met that you'd like to speak on?
We had the Ed Foundation meeting. They discussed the touching on like the 5th grade kindness retreat and 7th grade courage retreat. Just kind of touched a little bit on that. We did kind of talk about financially being down a little bit in donations in the manner of like give to the max type stuff. But they did kind of mention too that it kind of ends up evening out as like their things in the spring kind of happen as well too. But just for this year particularly, give to the max maybe just didn't do quite as well as what we usually do. They were talking about STEM on a cart for the elementary. They were kind of tossing around ideas for that, which would be really awesome. Let's see. They have an upcoming personal safety and cybersecurity presentation coming up. This is from the Jacob Wetterling group. So that'll be super good participation there for March 19th. And then they are currently working on the silent auction items for their big spring fundraiser that they do. So that is underway. So if anybody hears anything about that, give that direction. And then they will have some board member openings, 3 of them, coming up in July. So if anybody's interested.
And they had elementary PTO carnival was on Friday. Thank you to Melinda and the rest of the PTO group for putting that on. That was well attended. Thank you to our volunteers for helping. Also just wanted to make one point, like there was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 80 shifts, I believe, for the PTO to run smoothly. And day before the PTO carnival, there was only like 40 shifts filled out. And each shift was an hour 15 to an hour and a half. And with the amount of parents that we have of kids in elementary and the amount of staff that we have down there, to fill up 80 shifts and to only have half of them filled out a day before it's going to run was kind of embarrassing in my opinion.
Should
Most-
mention that a lot of those shifts actually were filled by elementary staff as well. They stepped up to the plate and filled those open holes because parents did not, which is a bummer.
But most people that work those shifts worked either 2 or 3, And in order to have these programs be successful, which not only helps our staff and helps our kids, we need more people to volunteer to help these things thrive. So I just wanted to make a note on that. Also, wanted to make a note as far as negotiations. About a month ago, we re-engaged with the association, and so far things are going positive and in the right direction, and I'm hoping either at the next meeting or the following meeting, we have something to announce with that. So that's all I have.
That's great. Clinton and I, we didn't meet with facilities. We just talked through some things preliminarily. We have, there's some grants available for updating bathrooms and whatnot that we are going down the path of trying to figure out how we make that work and what goes into that. We also discussed the football field out back, which, if you remember now, was shut down for the year due to its condition. We're probably going to try to get creative and use good old manpower and sprinklers and whatnot to try to get that going for especially our youth. Our youth, that's where our first youngest football players and whatnot go play. So it'd be nice to have it in a somewhat working condition, dealing with what we're dealing with no water back there. But that was it for facilities.
Policy committee met, and we actually are doing the first readings on those policies coming up in the meeting. So if you want me to touch on that, then
Yeah, we'll
that
just do
makes
it
more
then.
sense.
Yeah. Anything else? All right, moving forward, administrative board reports. You can see in your packet. Each administrator had included what they had for February. I know Jennifer's here. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I don't have anything to add besides a shout out to the staff for volunteering. Some, after a long Friday, spent a long time there, so that was awesome. And it was a success, so I'm excited about that, but nothing beyond that.
Perfect. Any additions there? All right, we can move forward. Public input. I think most of you know the spiel. We ask you to be respectful, not only of the board and the district, but of time. If you have several people presenting on one item, we ask you to pick one or two and keep it around that 3-minute mark. So at this point, if anybody has anything to say to the board, we welcome that. All right, seeing none, we'll move forward. We have no old business. Under new business, consideration to approve a resignation effective June 6th, 2024. And this is for Sue Frankie Clark. Sue's been in the district a long time. She came out of retirement to help us out when we were short and needed help, much like much of our staff has done in the past. Put in hours and hours and hours helping our students here in Cannon Falls. So she has chosen to move on, and we want to thank her for her dedication. So at this point, I would take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Clinton with the motion to accept the
I'll
resignation.
second.
Katie with the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And a big thank you to her for coming out of retirement.
Yes.
That really helped us out.
Moving forward, consideration to approve a resignation effective June 6, 2024. This is for Destiny Olson. Same story here. Been a good advocate for our school and helped our kids along the way. We want to thank her for her time and wish her the best moving forward.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Clinton with the motion to approve the resignation.
I'll second.
Jolyn with the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Consideration to approve the first reading of policy 427.1 caseload size and special education. It's in your packet. Katie, I don't know if you want to speak to this some.
For this one, it was brought to us by GCED. And, it more so applies to them. But being that we are part of them, we also look at it. I asked the question on if these caseload ranges were appropriate, and it was told to me that it was, that it's what it is, like our numbers in the classroom. Like it's a strong suggestion that these be the numbers that are taken apart. But I think it's ready to be approved. So.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about them?
Any questions?
Was there any major changes?
No, not to this one.
And this is the first reading, so this will.
Yep. So this will come back. It's not the final. This is just the first.
Yep, so there's no questions, but if things come as the weeks go here before our next meeting, make sure to reach out to Katie.
Yeah, or ask you can ask Jeff about it too. If you have any questions.
I'll make a motion.
Jolene with the motion to accept the first reading,
I'll second.
Katie with the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion passes. Moving forward, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 606.5, library materials.
So this is the one. It's for how we evaluate our library materials. So all of the books that are in the library, and if anybody would have an opposition to a book that we carry in our library, it has the forms. It has the whole process on how to do that and how it would work, and it also has the forms attached to the back here of how you would do that, of how you would make a formal complaint about a book in the library.
And I assume this is included maybe like in our handbook? You happen to know if we, for like,
That's a good question. Larry, do you know that?
It will be.
It will be this coming.
okay,
Okay, yeah, because it's a new policy.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but we worked quite a long time on getting this.
Yeah,
implemented.
and it covers it very thoroughly
Yeah.
of how each step, how you, and I would say I would approve it. So.
okay. And this did come from policy committee with
Yeah.
their recommended approval as well as Jeff.
Yep.
Recommended approval.
Yep, this is one. These were the two that we reviewed when we got together. So.
Perfect. Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Clint with the motion,
I'll second.
Ryan with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Short and quick meeting tonight. You can see what's coming up in the future. If you have anything, please reach out to Jeff or Bob to get those things added to the agenda for next meeting. If there's anything else,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Quentin with the motion for adjournment,
I'll second.
Jolene with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0.
Somebody was like, did